We are back, and it is time to hop into our second game, Sean. It's going to be on Daybreak, and let's just summarize game number one a little bit and what you think about going into game number two.
Well, it's kind of weird to see MVP Keane doing the aggressive play that he did and having it be so successful. A lot of people would say, well, that's weird because Sting looked like he was trying to be all powery. In reality, Sting was trying to do a big corner-cutting build that would allow him to push that lip really, really effectively. So with all that pressure Keane was putting on, Sting was thinking, come on, Keane, go back to normal. Come on, stop attacking me. He got the reactor on his barracks right when he was being pressured at his front, with no bunker at the front. So Sting took kind of a big risk then, was kind of pulling it back together, but again, a little bit too risky of a move at the front, a little bit too risky of a drop at the back, and after two mistakes like that, Keane played super standard and knocked his opponent down.
And now we hop into Daybreak as the next map. And two questions. What do you think it means for Keane having now the momentum, having won game one, and then also just what needs to happen for Sting on Daybreak?
Well, what's fortunate about a best-of-7 series is losing one game doesn't feel so bad. If you're down 2 games, that's when you start to sweat a little bit. But in this situation, if you're in Sting's shoes, you kind of go, all right, I'm just, whatever, it went poorly, I'm going to ignore it. This is what 90% of players do in this spot. It's going to be on Daybreak. You're going to be maybe thinking things like, I'll be aware that Keane could put on more pressure, but I don't really think that that first game is going to have that much pressure. If Keane does win this game, especially depending on if it's another semi-straight-up game, then I'm going to start feeling real scared for Sting.
And then the heat will be turned up. Guys, the next map, game 2 of this best-of-7, is Daybreak, and we're going to hop into there right now. All right, we are live. It is game number 2 here. Keane, he grabs the paddle in game number 1 and unleashes it on Sting. But now is the opportunity, Sting, to bring it back. Let's introduce our players on Daybreak and their positions in the northeast position as the Blue Terran. It is MVP Keane.
You know, I don't care. Keane deserves that clapping applaud given how well he played in the last game. And his opponent down in the bottom left from Team No Team. It's Sting. And, you know, Marcus, I will say, on this map, I think everyone is expecting long-term macro play, but I'm just hoping we get the chance to see some sort of proxy Banshee play, building that starport at the far south or far north position for some early pressure is often rarely anticipated, can do a lot of damage, but probably one Rax expand or no Rax expand is what we'll be seeing.
If you think, or if we were to see something come out of it, which guy do you think would have a higher percentage of? Well, there's a gas first coming out by Sting.
Marcus, my answer is
right
Sting.
Away. My answer.
Whatever your question was.
There you go. All right, that was the correct answer. So the Rax goes down at the front for King, but obvious deviation here for Sting. He throws out that refinery first. Wants to start paying those gas bills.
You know, this is another map where it's quite effective to do the reactor Hellion expand. We see that there's already the barracks going down. It's not in an ideal position to do that sort of reactor play, so we'll likely see a Banshee out of Sting, but the very fast reactor does exploit that early expanding tendency of a lot of players, and hey, Keane, he's also not going to be hopping on the early expand bandwagon. Marcus, he is taking a fast gas as well.
He has. And look at this, the SCV for Keane immediately scouting at least south to the 3rd. I thought maybe he might go down a little bit further. And, you know, when we talk a little bit about some of the strategies that we've seen thrown out here by Terrans on Daybreak. But he doesn't, heading just across the map. And with both of this, Sting's ready to put down a factory right away. And I can even follow up with the add-on. There is the factory for Sting, and you know, it's just Keane's just going to be a little bit behind on that.
You know, I would very much so anticipate Keane to be doing just a standard cloaked Banshee play. Given these positionings, Keane still might go for the reactor, which would certainly make me smile. But the position is very not indicative of the fast Hellion play, and he might actually be trying to kill off this SCV first. Still a little ambiguous as to what Keane's doing, but the big telling play His no Vespian Gas Geyser implies that he wants to do some aggression and take an expand behind.
Yeah, and let's see. Actually, his second Marine comes out almost immediately, so there the factory finishes up. And could just go straight to that starport. But over on the other side, the factory has started. We can see a reactor for Keane.
Yay!
And there is the starport for Sting. So let's see what's going to come out next.
So far, it's looking like a pretty unusual game for Daybreak, given how popular the 1-racks expands are. Keane definitely going for a control play build. Oh, cool, look at this. He's not going for the Reactor Hellions. Is he going for double Marine production? It looks like, yes, indeed he is. Keane will be going for that classic cloaked Banshee play. Sting going to be going for a non-cloaked fast expand Banshee. Both plays I like. Both have a nice little aggressive bent to them, but very much so looks like with this Reactor barracks, could very well be following it up with kind of an aggressive tank.
Yeah, it seems like that's absolutely possible, and they're Keane already getting ready for his lift. So, you know, he kind of ends up, when you consider the fact that Sting took that gas a little bit earlier, I mean, sure, he's going to get started on that command center almost immediately, but this is going to be about even. Will it come down to, we don't have Cloak coming down here for Keane, but you know, I just feel with the amount of Marine production that we've got out here by Keane, like he's sitting in a pretty good position, having made the decisions early on that he did.
Yeah, Keane's doing a couple things that I really like. For one, he was in his opponent's base, and what did he see? He saw no gas geyser, so it's probably not going to be a cloak play. As a result, he gets his Banshee up quicker, and that way he can follow it up with a quicker Viking if need be, or if he's really feeling like his opponent is cloaking, he can go for the quicker Raven. Really cute little adjustment. And of course, this little Hellion by Keane is going to be poking. And look at this. It's poking right around the time when that command center would be done. And did he see it? He did see the command center. What a move by Keane.
Yeah, very nice. He also killed off that Hellion. It stopped short by Sting outside of the natural. And so that delayed that Banshee by quite a bit. It was heading on over. It came back. It passed by that Hellion, believe it or not, on its way here, but it returned home to take care of it, and now that we see the morphing of the command center into an orbital command. Banshee is incoming just to the east of Sting's base. There's already a... nope, there is not anything going down quite yet, so he's going to have to pull everything back. There's a Viking out, though. That's what I was looking for. So Viking's out, no cloak. Viking's going to be able to take care of this.
And it looks like he will stay down to 3 kills. Nice play there by Sting, taking out that Banshee. That means that right now, Sting is, I guess I'd call it an emotional lead. You kill off a Banshee that didn't do that much damage. You get your command center up a little bit earlier, but Keane is super on point. I mean, he's just going for everything in a straightforward fashion, but in a solid fashion. He already has 3 add-ons for his 3 buildings. He's getting the tank lead. He's looking quite solid for Keane, but even so, stylistically, I prefer Sting's play. He's getting a lot of Marines. He's going to be getting some medevacs. He's going to start gobbling up control of the map.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. I mean, the amount of Marines he's going to have here pretty quickly, and he has a few Marines stuck, if I'm not mistaken. Are they stuck in there? I don't know. Maybe just misrallied.
Oh my God, Marcus.
What?
These trapped Marines.
Man, Bob and Larry, dude, will they ever make it out to the battle?
It's the next Joss Whedon terror movie.
And Keane's pushing his way out, at least to the first Naga Tower. We'll see how far he actually chooses to go here.
Oh, wow. That's a bold play, Marcus.
What?
He's moving all the way out in the mid-map. His army's split. That's...
What is up with these tanks?
Oh, man, those tanks had a death wish and a half. You know, Sting's play is, I'm going to be aggressive earlier than you. I'm going to seize control of the map, and your tanks will start off having to go crawl cross-map to siege up. But now here they are, and they're at Sting's front door.
And Sting does have Stim right now, and here we do have the tank sieging up, and you know, Keane is going to win this battle.
Whoa.
The medevac's even being targeted by the one Viking that's out, 2 Vikings that are out. Also the Raven is there as well. He's going to move forward, siege up just a little bit. Keane has the opportunity at least to push and cause some damage, force you know, a fight here with the SCVs, and here they come.
This is a do or die position for Sting. He has to kill this off. Keane is doing gigantic damage. And all his SCVs fall too. I mean, Keane had the money mixture back at home, he had the extra tanks, and it was looking like he was going to be able to set himself up for a nice fast third, but no, went for a lightning push at just the right time. That Raven, the perfect tool to get up that ramp. More Marines popping out right now for Sting. Doing some amazing splitting, but Marcus, I'm not sure it's enough.
No, I mean, the Banshee doing a ton of work as well. The Marines just not in big enough numbers to deal with any of these units, and I mean, surprising that happened without Stim, and Stim now just being done here, but you look at Keane and what he's presenting in terms of an army, and it's just absolutely just devastating here for what Keane has. A lot of these SCVs not even mining. His Marine force is really poor. And look at the positioning on these tanks, Sean. Like, this is right in the, right, I mean, shooting shells into the front door of Sting.
Oh, God, Keane is winning, Marcus. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Keane with the perfect push timing. I mean, in this brief period where Sting's trying to pull it back together, still will... Oh, nice! We'll be able to take out one tank. Things finally starting to lighten up just a smidge. But can't even afford to do that drop. I mean, great maneuvering by Keane.
Yeah, Keane actually, those reinforcements come in just at the right time. I mean, right now it's just 2 Marines and these 3 siege tanks, but they're going to rush out anyway with the SCVs in hand. He's going to be able to clean up just about everything. Again, some significant losses were taken throughout all this, but he does clear out the front door, sweeping everything under the rug. Here comes an orbital to drop down, but let's look at the damage. Harvesters, 22 for Sting, 49 right now for Keane. We look at the Army as well, 24. Actually, Army is quite even, but when you look at the infrastructure, you think about the income that Keane is sitting on, I mean, the damage was done. Losing that was not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to Keane's base, look at how smart he's playing this off. He's ringing his base with missile turrets. He knows he's winning. He knows he wants to make a follow-up attack, but may as well just make sure that no BS can happen. Even sieging a siege tank in his main, next to his main command center, that's such a solid play. Keane's going to be just taking his 3rd base, and especially in terms of that infrastructure. The reason that attack eventually petered out is because back home, Keane was buying time to get 3 barracks up with reactor, get 2 factories up with tech lab, and now you look at Sting's base. He has 3 barracks without, 1 without reactor. He doesn't have a factory quite building it. Oh wait, look at this. He actually has a factory building a tech lab when he could be planting it down on this other tech lab. Yikes. I mean, things are just disorganized. You can't blame Sting. He's in a terrible position.
I mean, that was, it must have been very crushing and traumatizing to see most of your army just dissolve on the ramp. Can't ever be a good thing. And look at Keane already sending out small squads of units. He can afford it at this point. I mean, defensive position here at his natural. I think he's going to be okay if this were to poke forward, even though there's quite a few Marines. Now, the drops, as you mentioned, going to be completely eliminated as well by all those missile turrets. So Keane can just wait for a few more rounds of production. Sting is getting way too close for comfort here.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sting is doing what he needs to do. You've lost so much at home. The only win that you have is that positioning win, where you're thinking, I have more medevacs, more Marines, so I'm going to gobble up the center of the map. But Keane smartly noting, I'm ahead. The only way Sting can come back in is with some drop antics, and has just walled off his back base with tons of turrets. And now we see Sting loading up for a drop, and at this point, Keane actually killed off one of his own turrets because it trapped a tank. But fortunately, it looks like Sting's going to run into the northern ones.
Yeah, he's going to run in. There is going to be 4 medevacs there, so undoubtedly he will get a drop going. Now, also the Marines here for Keane over at that 3rd saying that, okay, it's not there. I'm sitting good as far as that's concerned. And here comes the drop. First missile turret in the northwest portion of the base. Immediately wards it off. He's going to look for another entrance in. He sees the 2nd turret, and he gets out of there. And you think about the time lost in all of that. And here comes the push from Keane, moving out with a lot of Marines, several tanks, a good medevac count. And he will begin making his push across the map. Now, here comes back in. Sting might just go for it.
Sting has the near-empty medevac leading. Will be able to pull it back, take some losses, and there, the full unload in the main. But look at Keane's tank placement. Already has 2 tanks sieged back there. Marcus, it's hideous. Oh my god. Oh, GG.
Oh, it's rough when a drop ends a game, but that's exactly what happened right there. The medevacs winning. Leading with the front one. That was very nice, but that's the second game, Sean. The second game where a siege tank inside the main has basically saved him within any sort of big drop play like that.
I want to come back to the start of the game and talk about the way Keane's opening panned out. If you do anything that involves a fast starport, like say getting a Banshee, you already have a barracks and a factory lying around because it was part of the tech path. So the most efficient thing you can do is do something that is Marine with no upgrade and siege tank focused. And that's what we saw Keane do. Went one Banshee, then went straight for Raven, tank, Marine. But if you look back at Sting's play, Sting is essentially saying, I'm going to harass you a little bit, but then I'm going to go into Marine medevac and try to push you back all the way to your side. You're noticing that to go Marine medevac, you're not using the factory, and you need to get 2 more barracks. What does that mean for Sting? He needs to buy some time with that Banshee. And he didn't do that at all. He was in pure defense mode, couldn't get a leg up, didn't even rally his Marines to the center watchtower to be able to begin with that positioning win. And Keane did a timing that's very unusual. It's risky in theory, but if you have as good a read on your opponent as Keane does, it was the perfect play. And you just saw it was siege tanks up against no combat shield Marines with no medevacs, and it was so one-sided at the start. And great follow-up by Keane.
And just to expand on your point a little bit, Sean, it's amazing to think that one Hellion was basically the reason why that Banshee ended up coming back, because it was on its way over there. It certainly was going out to do its job, but that kind of set off the series of events that allowed Keane to just take that incredible lead. And what is our third map going to be? Entombed Valley is the third map. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we return, talk a little bit about what Game 3 means. But this is that 2-0 lead for Keane that you were talking about. It's time for him to get a little bit comfortable. When we come back, the TSL4 Grand Finals continues with our third and fourth place matchup. Don't go away.